Hi. So it is super cold here today in Nebraska, like below zero with the wind chill. I think it's minus 23, something crazy like that. So I love to bake, and today I discovered a wonderful recipe on Pinterest for matcha donuts, and I just happened to get a new donut pan. So I'm going to show you how I did it. It was not, I thought, oh my gosh, I've never made donuts before. Am I going to be able to do this? And my first batch turned out wonderful. So let's do it. I've got my recipe hanging out here because I haven't memorized this one yet. So what we're going to do, we're using, of course, matcha from Sophology. I did sweet blueberry and then did a glaze with cinnamon matcha. It is wonderful. This time I am going to do sweet salted caramel instead. So you really could mix up your flavors as much as you want. I think a lemon would be really good. Lemon and blueberry, I think, are going to be my next experiment. Okay, so I preheated my oven to 425, and I've got a bowl here. And what we're going to do, I've got coconut oil sitting here. I had solid coconut oil, so I just did this in the microwave. And it's just 1/4 of a cup melted. And then we're gonna add, let's see, our sugar is 1/3 cup of cane sugar, which I've got right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and whisk this together. And then we are gonna add some vanilla and baking powder and all that good stuff. Okay, so got that combined together with a whisk. And for these wet ingredients, I certainly am using my whisk. I learned the last time. Once I start adding my dry, to make sure to use a spatula instead. Okay, next on our list we have baking powder, which is 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Make sure I don't mix it up with my baking soda. Have you ever done that? So we're gonna do, this is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so we'll do 3 of these. And then we're gonna do 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Have you guys ever made donuts before? I'm like loving this. Okay, and then we're gonna do matcha powder. So like I said, I'm gonna do on the sweet salted caramel. And then in my glaze, I think I'm gonna do cinnamon with it. I thought that sounded really good. So I'm doing 1 teaspoon, and I am using our perfect matcha spoon, which is 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm gonna add 2 of these. Okay, so our matcha is in there, and then we need 1 large egg. Set that aside, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I just love like all these ingredients, right? You just know it's going to be good. You ever look at a recipe and just know it's going to be good just by the ingredients that you're seeing? Okay, so we've got our 1 large egg, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of matcha powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, a heaping 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt. I couldn't believe that I actually even had all of these ingredients. Where's my 4th? There we go. All right, let's do our sea salt. My little spout is a little clogged up. I say that's a heaping. Okay. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I wish I had my Mexican vanilla on hand because that's my favorite. But today we're going with imitation. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and just mix these all up together. Get them all combined well. And then we'll start adding our dry ingredients. So we don't really have much more to go. Okay, so now The recipe calls for 1/2 cup of almond milk. I didn't have almond milk on hand, so I'm using some toasted coconut milk, which worked just as well. So I'm thinking that maybe you could use regular milk too, or maybe even like pea milk. All right, so I'm gonna pour a little bit of this in here, and we're gonna start just combining this flour in. And basically the consistency that we're going after is, it's going to be thick. And it's a little sticky. Okay. I'm going to put the rest of that in there along with the rest of our milk. All right. Let's just get, I think this takes the longest, is just getting everything melded together. And then I'm going to show you my donut pan here in a second, but I did pre-oil my little slots for my donuts. It's a silicone pan that I had gotten from Epicure. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's slide it over. So this is my new donut pan. I'm very excited about it. I'll grab a spoon. Now this part I haven't totally mastered, I guess. If you guys have any hints for filling up your donut slots, I kind of just tried to spread it around. And then you let them bake for 15 minutes and then put them on a wire rack to cool. And then for frosting, you really can be really creative. I just started with a simple glaze. I used 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. I put a little bit of my coconut milk in there, and then 1/2 teaspoon of the matcha, and then just mixed it up. But I mean, gosh, you could just do maybe even like a powdered sugar and mix matcha in it and just kind of dip your donuts. Gosh, I think you could probably come up, if you have little ones in your life, right? Do some sprinkles. I remember as a kid always enjoying sprinkles. All right, so that gives you an idea. I'll go ahead. It makes 6 donuts. So I'll go ahead and finish filling up the rest of them. But look how fast this is going. And this is my finished product. They turned out pretty good. They're not the most even donuts, but let me tell you, they taste freaking delicious. I even had my husband taste test it, and I got 2 thumbs up. So I think it passed the test. I hope you enjoyed my matcha donuts, and I will see you later.